welcome. I'm Janita Stanton. We have Reginald Perriman, Shaka Williams, and we are TSARE. This is the There's Something About Real Estate podcast where we talk all things real estate. All right, guys, what y'all been up to?
Everything. Closing deals, selling houses as usual. Forget what the market said.
Right.
We still gonna close deals and sell houses.
You know, I normally slow down right around this time of year, and I'm really trying to fight against it. Y'all got to help me next year because, like, come November, I like be on a sabbatical.
Do business slow down or do you mentally slow down?
I think I mentally slow down. I had a lot of loss during the holidays, like real close, like several people, and I think it just subconsciously taps in.
Right.
And I be looking up one day like, man, I'm supposed to be working.
Yeah. I mean, the market slows down, I think, too. But like she said, yeah, you got to, like, just be intentional about it. You know, something I've been noticing, though, is that we literally back to, like, 2006 and 2007 as far as how you have to be an agent. Like, you have to be creative in getting these deals done. You can't just do what the regular status quo that we've been doing in 2020, 2021.
So what you're saying is you need some damn skills.
You got to have skills. You got to be a real realtor. You can't, like, these deals are a lot more difficult. I had to tell somebody yesterday, like, I'm like, you just got this deal done because of who I am. Like, you know what I mean? And it was real. You know what I mean? I don't think nobody, I'm not saying nobody else.
Up on people, like,
no, I had to tell them that because I think people take it for granted when you get a deal done that probably wouldn't have been done with other agents.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That creative finance though era was before that. I think that, but it's still to the point. Like people don't understand. Like I put that's like on my resume, like creative, the ability to be able to be creative. Because like you said, people they just
problem solver, and it was. But I can only speak from the era that I came. So I didn't get into real estate until 2003, and I didn't get my license until 2005. So for me, I started being that's where I excelled at being creative in like around 2006.
98% of what we're seeing in the market is not new as far as financing, what's going on in the market. It's just that the people is new.
Right.
So what you was talking about, the skill set, so the last couple years made it extremely easy for people with low skills to do a lot of business. Now the skilled people are really going to show up and show out. So you need to step your skills up. You need to go to the trainings. You need to go to the classes, like the one me and Billy Slovan just did on probate, short sales, and foreclosures. And we basically gave people an eye-opener. Everybody's like, oh, I want to learn how to do foreclosures and REOs and list those properties. When we broke the numbers down, people was like, no, I don't think I want to do
that.
Yeah, because it was an abundance probably when you refocused your business and started doing all of that stuff coming into it.
You needed
that was the market.
You needed a lot of money up front. That's why it was only, you might have had 50 brokers that had 80% of the business.
But the people that's going in and they sharpening those skills, though, maybe, you know, especially with the probate stuff, what are baby boomers considered? What's that age range?
Baby boomers, the generation before us.
So, like, how old are they right now?
They're probably
60s.
like 65, 70 or something.
Yeah, so it's, you know, that was a pretty large group of people. So you probably going to have a lot of probate stuff.
Baby boomer? No.
I was just thinking about it because, like, for people that's, you know, paying attention to probate and things like that, it's probably going to be a real big market for that coming here.
It's coming back. That's what I'm saying. Like, we're literally back to, it's like it's recycled. You know what I mean? Like, literally back to that same market or getting there, I would say.
So what's the
baby boomers are 58 to 76 years old. We got some rappers that's baby boomers.
Yeah.
Ain't that crazy?
Bruh.
But yeah, 58 to 76 years old is baby boomers. So.
Now, who's some of our baby boomer rappers?
I don't
All
know,
of the Sugar Hill gang.
Ice-T, Sugar Hill. Everybody's uncle
Run
favorite
DMC.
rapper, Kool Moe D. And all
Big
of
Daddy
that.
Kane, how old is he?
Yep.
All
No,
right.
he ain't that old.
He ain't 58?
Nah, Big Daddy. You know what's funny? Most of the rappers that we thought was old,
They
like
was young.
they was only like 3 or 4 years older than
Right
us.
now, he's older than Jay-Z. Google how old Big Daddy Kane is.
We gonna
Jay
look
is
that
only
up.
about 50.
Yeah, Kane only about 54, 55.
That's what I was thinking. He's
like
several
that.
year older than Jay.
We gonna get back to real estate.
Yeah, we gonna find out his age, and then Reggie gonna give us
you
some
want me to do
housing
it for real?
market updates.
Big Daddy Kane, Antonio Hardy. I'm gonna Google Antonio Hardy. That's it.
Housing market updates. So while they're looking for that, I'm gonna tell you this. I wish I would have brought the stats. Oh, I might have it in my notebook. I might have to look them up. But I looked at some.
Okay, he just short of a baby boomer. He 54.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
All right. I wanted you to get into the housing updates, but I don't know how you did yours, but I went closer. I don't have it in front of me, so I can't do it.
I got mine.
But I did some 7 days. I'm gonna find it in my bag, but I did some 7 days and 30-day updates.
Okay, I'm gonna show you what I got. Well, I'm gonna tell y'all what I got. I can't show you. I can tell you better than I can show you. So, only did Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb County. These are major counties. I did 7 days for residential properties only because that's what most of us focus on. So in the past 7 days, it's 882 new listings that came on the market, 41 coming soon, 12 are contingent, continue to show, 163 are accepting backup offers, 789 price decreases, but 34 price increases, right? 154 back on the market, meaning the deals fell through, 719 pending, and 706 sold. So if we got 882 new listings, but 706 sold and 719 pending, plus the 163 that's accepting backup offers, it's kind of an even kill when you look at how many are new, how many are going under contract, and how many are closing. It's more of a balanced market.
It is.
So it's not too much of a surplus, and it's not too much. It's not really a seller or buyer's market. What's coming on is still selling.
Right.
Right. If it's priced right.
If it's priced right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that was, so I'm gonna just do Canton in particular. I did 3 cities, but I'm gonna just do Canton. So on the last 30, and this was Tuesday, I think I did these. In 30 days, 39 were pending and 74 sold.
Okay. Now, out of these properties that I mentioned, the highest sale price was in Birmingham for $3,225,000. And the highest Detroit property that sold within the past 7 days was $450,000. That doesn't mean it wasn't higher Detroit sales. This is just in the past 7 days.
And Canton had it was a $9 million development project. It was parcel of land, like 11 plus acres.
Sweet.
So I don't know, what is all this saying though, because I'm looking at it because I'm trying to figure out, are people not buying houses?
No, people are definitely buying houses. Yeah.
I got deals pending that just went pending in the past week. Like one of my listings was on the market. It was on the market 23 days. We had an offer the first week. The seller was like, nah, because they offered like $20,000 below asking. And the seller was like, nah, I'm gonna wait. And I was like, you should. And now we got to offer a full price, but he's giving $5,000 in concessions. But it's still
better,
a good
15,000 more, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like good profit on it. It was a fix and flip, so
Okay, so this was an investor client.
Yeah, but I got a homeowner client we put on Rosedale Park. Within 2 days, we had an offer that was 13 above asking price with 13,000 appraisal guarantee. And I mentioned this before. I was nervous as hell because I was like, where did this come from? It wasn't even
necessary.
No competition for the property. But the appraisal came back lower. I'll tell y'all what it came back as. But the buyer's still paying $13,000 above asking price. We negotiated some of the repairs from the private inspection, and we'll be closing soon. And the price that I suggested they listed at is within $3,000 of what we're selling it at.
And what it appraised at?
Yeah, what it appraised at. So, well, no, the appraised for lower, but with the appraisal guarantee, puts it 3,000 above what I suggested they listed for. So I'll share that when we close.
In Rosedale, you said?
Yeah. Yep. So homes still selling. The hottest homes are selling quick. The average homes are selling average.
So I got a question.
Market.
Do y'all think that? So what I feel like I've been seeing is in the lower price points, houses are moving a lot slower. I think maybe in the lower and in the higher price points.
The lower and your luxury homes are getting hurt the worst.
Yeah.
That 125 to maybe like 180. Those the homes are still moving.
I say I even go as high as like to 250. I say like 150 to 250 range is still moving if you have if it's a nice house and it's priced right.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like so those lower end flips, you got to be careful as an investor.
Yeah, those 80,000, 70,000, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see some people from different markets to tap in, because a lot of what we talk about, we have to go with our knowledge, which is here when we're talking about like our experience and what we're seeing.
Right.
But abroad or nationally, it would be nice to know, what's happening from a real estate person's perspective. Like, it's great reading the articles and the updates and things like that, but I still think it's a lot of propaganda.
Yeah. I seen somebody post on Instagram. They were saying that the percentage of black home ownership, and they was showing a percentage, but the guy was like, well, what about all the people that own properties in their LLCs and their corporation name? And when you own in your LLC, it don't know if you black or white.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's why you gotta be careful with them numbers.
Yeah, we gotta pay attention. But we know they're looking at generic numbers of actual individuals. But the city of Detroit is about to roll out something that's gonna be a game changer. I was part of a focus group. So they had a focus group with realtors. And then I believe last week they met with the lenders. So it's a down payment assistance program, but it's not like the other ones. You still got to qualify for a mortgage, but the amount they're proposing is $25,000 down towards your down payment and closing costs. And one of the things they want to do is you have to live in Detroit to qualify, but we gave them feedback. We said, what about the people that for some reason maybe they lost their house during the recession, the last market fallout, and they had no choice but to rent wherever they could, but they still work in the city. So we proposed that it's for people that live in the city or work in the city that want to move back into the city. But the way the program is set up, it's going to change Detroit if people use it, because they got to use the money within 24 months, and it will extend it if all the money is used. If it's not used, they're going to kill the program.
But they have to move back to Detroit so they can be in another city. But
but it's only for Detroit.
That's good.
And National Faith is going to oversee the program, which they do a great job over there educating home buyers. And she told us, Dina over at National Faith told us that they've seen an increase in the amount of people coming to their home buyer seminars. And they usually I went to one, they had like 400 people there. So
that's crazy.
If that program kicks out, they was planning on kicking it out the first quarter next year. That's going to be a game changer for the housing market.
The reason I'm saying that's crazy, because I had a lender just talk to me about National Faith. Down payment assistance. It wasn't 25, it's 15,000.
Right.
He wanted to meet with you too. I mean, I met him on Zoom. It's somebody we met at the grand opening of KWC.
Yeah. Yep.
But that's crazy that is. He was explaining that to me.
Right.
I'm like, well, why? And this has been around. National Faith has been around for a long time,
years,
but people are not using it for some reason. So he sent me something breaking down where their money is, where they still have money at. So I guess people are using it, because in the city of Detroit, they ran out of money as of right for the rest of this year.
Yeah.
But that's a good program.
Yeah, but that 25 is gonna be a game changer. So
yeah, and people, it's just gonna be perspective. You have a lot of people when they're offering and stuff for the city. It's like, oh, they want to move us into the worst parts. It's all in what you make it, I guess.
Once people start moving in
it won't be the worst parts.
The worst part is what you, like you said, what you make it. But once people start moving in it and it starts changing, then everybody will be like, oh, they brought up everything, kicked us out. No, you didn't want to be there.
That's the point.
But I think when they saying that they want us to move in the worst parts, it's because there's so many restrictions. So a person buying a house in Boston Edison is probably not going to qualify for that.
Yeah, because it's going to be income limits just like Michigan and all of that. But at the same time, if you qualify for $125,000, get you a nice house in a decent area of Detroit, right? So if you're getting $25,000 down payment assistance to help with closing costs and all of that, why not take advantage of that? Mm-hmm. What's the worst part of Detroit for $125,000?
Well, but listen, I hear you, and I agree. I agree. I hear that argument. What about what about a family that has a household income of about $150,000?
Right.
Or 200,000.
Well, they're going to base it on how many people. So just like with Michigan, it depends on the size of the household, and there's going to be income guidelines. So the more people, the more income that household can make.
Yeah.
It's not going to be for everybody.
Correct.
It's just for low-income people. But the idea is if you're renting in, so you have your areas, your A, which is your best areas, your B and your C. If you're renting in the C or B area, why not buy there, right?
Yeah.
If you qualify and you can afford it, plus you're getting $25,000, why not buy in that same area?
Mm-hmm. And then it improves the area when working class individuals move in and they want to start a neighborhood watch and secure the area, and now it's going to be more police. Like when you have people occupying the space and loving it and taking care of it, it boosts the infrastructure in that specific space.
Yeah, or pride of ownership.
Yeah.
More people own their home. I'm not waiting on some slum landlord to come fix something. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to fix it myself because it's mine. So when you get more people with that mindset in the area, that changes the area.
So people no longer need to use their own funds to purchase. I think we kind of touched on that when you just talked about, one of your sellers, giving some concessions, this down payment assistance program, an additional one being added to some of the ones that are still out here, creating more funds for that. So
people tripping over these interest rates. You can buy down your interest rates. You can negotiate with the seller to pay discount points. You can get around the interest rates. But these interest rates not high.
They're not.
I've been saying that for killing me with these interest rates. Nobody be tripping on interest rates when they go buy a car or they use the credit card.
30%.
But I think that's the media though. Again,
you bought
that's
some
the media
and used your credit card and paid 21%.
Right.
A lot of people that go on a car lot and buy a $5,000 car and end up paying $25,000 for it.
Education, though. Right. Education, and then so that's why you got to be careful about what you're listening to in the media. That's why I don't watch TV, like regular TV and the news. I don't watch that because it's just fear based. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to scare everybody into making them think that this is a bad market. They're doing it on purpose. I feel like this is being done on purpose. I feel like it's media driven too.
Yeah, fear sells, right?
Yeah.
And the fake stuff and the glamour and all that sells more. So that's what people are attracted to.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of people, you roll over, you pick your phone up, you check it. First thing you open is probably Google. And then all of the ads, at least the ones that it may be geared to me because it may be my phone knows.
You check Google first?
No, when I open my phone and the internet pops up, it's like it's Google and then like all the news. Anything that's that they feel like is prevalent right then. I was going to say maybe it's because I'm a realtor. I get, interest rates high, home sales are down. No one's ever going to buy real estate anymore.
You got
wait.
You got the billionaires. We'll talk about that on the next one.
Some people wake up and check their Instagram first.
All
They
right.
want to see how many
You
likes
know what?
they got.
I used to, I would say, reckon that was that 2008 till about
Right.
2016-ish, maybe before that. I got out of
Right.
that. Like, I used to wake up, hello world, hi Facebook, what are you doing today? This is what I'm thinking.
Today
No,
gonna be a God blessed day.
you get on that,
blessed and highly favored. You used to be one of them
yeah,
people.
one of them.
Yeah.
But by the time you get on there and you check Facebook and you scroll, you'll be in bed for 3 hours, not going to work. I'm an
That's
entrepreneur.
true.
I gotta go.
I had to change my life. I used to get up and just watch World Star in the morning. I wanted to see all ratchetness. Now I'd be like, man,
Your guilty pleasure.
yeah. Then I'd be like, nah, I can't watch this. So I start listening to Jim Rohn in the morning, get some motivation going.
Okay. So,
Or Eric Thomas, what's up? What's up? What's up?
No, I'm so, y'all not gonna feel this, but somebody put me on to this. My girl Tisha Hammond, I love her so much. She put me on to Tony Jones. Ooh, y'all about to get all of the Tony Jones. It's the poet.
Okay.
And that's what I'm getting ready to be on for the next 12 months.
Dr.
So
Miles
when y'all
Monroe.
see Tony Jones.
All right.
But yeah, let's talk about this. Okay, so back to what Shaka was saying. Like because I feel the same way. Like I feel like a lot of stuff is being like put on us.
Right.
And it's not necessarily real. And that's why I like being in network, with my people or whatever, and, seeing like day to day, hearing from consumers like personally, because we can actually feel like what's happening. I won't lie and say, it's not been a lot of questions about the interest rates and, how my payments are going to be changed.
Right.
And, that kind of a thing. But I'm just wondering like, how is all this going to affect the market like going forward?
I feel like it already affected the market. We see how it's going to affect it. Slowing it down. I feel like they're intentionally slowing down the market for whatever reason.
They're saying it's due to inflation, but one of these articles that I was reading, they're like buying is still up, shopping is still up in all of like the industries except for commercial offices.
Remember we was in a recession and the market crash and all of that? Were y'all going to restaurants back then? Like Red Lobster.
I've always been living my best life.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, were you going to like Red Lobster and I don't think we was going to Ponderosa. I outgrew that, but like Red Lobster or Cheesecake Factory or any of them, any chain restaurants. You was going to restaurants, right?
During that time.
All right,
getting my crab legs.
Yeah, and the lobster tails, surf and turf.
For $20.
But you was still going to restaurants, right?
Seafood ever.
And y'all was still going to the malls, right?
Buying all of the Timberlands and all of the colors.
Yeah, and the media was like, oh, we're in a recession and unemployment is high and this, and this and that, right? But you still had to wait 40 minutes to be seated at a restaurant and the restaurants were still crowded and you go to the mall and it was still no parking spaces. So, I mean, where was all the doom and gloom at?
But you know what
I'm saying?
I feel like that's the market, though. If you pay attention to the people who were still doing it and probably even still now doing it, it's probably a certain age group of people and then a certain income. Just like I'm joking about it, but I didn't have very much money during that time, and yeah, I was spending all of it, and my houses were important. But a lot of stuff is like herd mentality. So it's like in these times, it seems like the real estate, the houses and the land is the first thing to go. I'm not gonna not go get my shoes and not go eat my food, but I'm gonna walk away from my house.
Or not pay my rent.
You're gonna buy and do what you can afford, right?
No.
In other words.
Or I can shift the mindset and like you said, maybe slow down on all of the other purchasing and take care of my home and not contribute to the crash of the housing industry or the market.
Right. The point I was making was even then, a large percentage of people still had money and people made decisions on where to spend their money. So there was still activity going on. There was still a lot of money floating around. Actually, more wealthy people came out and started spending more money during that time. But
it was buying the land.
Even now, and it was just like you seen the wealthy people spending one way and then you seen everybody else spending as consumers, right? So some people were investing, some people were consuming, but it was still enough activity going on to keep businesses open. You see what I'm saying? The percentages may have changed, in real estate, we just have to adapt to that. People are still going to buy and sell. We sold a shitload of houses during the end. We were selling, one year I sold over 400 houses, but they were all cheap. You know what I'm saying? They were all $10,000, $15,000 houses, but still, it was still moving. It was still activity. It was still money being spent. Every house that sold, we had the contractor, preservation company, the lawn guy, the plumber had to do the winterization. So these were 7 or 8 people getting paid off of one transaction. It was still money moving.
So are you saying make the right decision?
I'm just saying, regardless of what the media tells you, what somebody tells you we're in, you have to look at what people are actually doing. You have to go out and be aware, like, okay, they say it's a recession or this is going to happen, but what are people actually doing with their money? Different, what percentage of people?
Different markets. Right. So even though it's a correlation in terms of what's going on in terms of the housing market and the slowdown,
right?
It's different reasoning behind it. You know what I mean? So like back then, there were no jobs. You remember? So that's what contributed to a lot of that. A lot of jobs had left the United States, right? Yep. Now, bro, I went to the movies yesterday. On the big screen, they advertising, please come work for us. This is a great place to have a job.
The movies, right?
Yeah, they like everybody needs help. They need people to work. People aren't working right now. It's different than back then in that time frame where it was no job. People was looking for jobs then.
Right. But we got new industries. We got more entrepreneurs. We got more people that's going to fail at being an entrepreneur and they're going to try something else or they're going to go back to work in between time. So the doom and gloom people were talking about, I don't see it because last time it was doom and gloom. People were still spending money.
And things were different
people
too.
People still making
You got to remember, arms was out, so people was getting killed. They might have had it. So this is the crazy thing. Back then, before that happened, interest rates was around like 8.25% up until about 9%, right? Yep. But then you had an arm, a 3 or 5 year arm, and when that arm came, now you in double 12. Digit, interest rates. So that contributed to that. Right. We're 7%. Even if we get to 8%. Even if we get to 9% in interest rates, I don't think that's going to have the same effect that it did for those individuals back then. Because again, people didn't have anywhere to work. The amount of money they were getting paid was low. Like they paying, man, you're getting like $17 to be the cashier at the movie theater. Yeah, you know what I mean. I'm talking about minimum. That's your minimum starting. So it's just a little bit different. I think a little bit also the doom and gloom. I'm a little bit believer in it, just because people are spending their money, like you just said, the wrong way. Right. So people aren't spending their money. Right. What's getting ready to happen in March? Yeah. From people that I'm talking about, from the renters. Right. You know, or people that even own the houses that haven't been paying their taxes for the last 2 or 3 years because they've been spending their money on whatever else, going out to eat. Vacationing,
spending their money on podcast equipment.
Yeah, everything else, everything but paying their rent and their back taxes, right? Yeah. So now, the eviction memorandum is up. People are getting evicted more now. Yep. Foreclosures are starting again in Wayne County or in Detroit, which they had stopped for a couple years. Yep. That wave is getting ready to happen. That's real. That's real stuff that's getting ready to occur, but it's not because of what people are saying. It's not because of the interest rates, though. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So we just got to distinguish that. Yeah, these things are I think coming down the pipe, but the reasoning and the rationale why it happened is different.
Yeah.
Okay, so the 7% interest rate is not a contribution to the foreclosure rate.
No.
Okay.
No.
But we haven't even hit that yet. Like we still haven't even started seeing it. But like Shaka is saying, it's probably coming for a different reason though.
Right.
When you get a wave of foreclosures, it's unemployment, it's oversupply, where people values have gone down so much where they can't sell to prevent foreclosure. But the banks just they're not gonna. I know people that, like I said before, people have been in their homes a year and a half, 2 years and not paid a dime. The bank's gonna first do loan modification if that's not an option. They're going to ask you to do a short sale, and then they're going to start the foreclosure process.
But we're not even in the beginning phase of
that's
that.
what I was
We're nowhere near.
saying. So many
houses are foreclosing because of. I wish we could see what the foreclosure rate is right now. It's got to be lowest I ever seen.
You want to know what the biggest factor is? Most people overlook is a large percentage of people bought their homes during the recession, and guess what? All them people got
equity.
A lot of equity. So before we even, if anybody's gonna foreclose, it's gonna be people that had a ton of equity and they refinanced in the past 3 years, or people that just bought in the past 3 years that paid $20,000 above appraised value, and they had some type of issue that come up. But what percentage of them people are gonna have an issue to come up where they need to, where they're gonna lose their home? So that's a small percentage compared to all the people that bought homes prior to 2016. And all of those people probably got, I want to see they got at least 30 to 40% equity in their home.
Mm-hmm.
So them people aren't nowhere near foreclosure. You have to actually just want to lose your home at that point.
But I got a good question, because Shaka went right into what I was thinking. Like, how are these people that's not working paying their bills?
They're not. That's the problem. I mean, they're not.
No, you got people making money. They just see the unemployment thing only tracks people that probably got laid off or fired, or they're collecting unemployment. But you got people that's just not on the radar and they're making money, right?
So
maybe they're an entrepreneur, or they got some type of side hustle or side gig. They could be selling cakes or pies.
But they're not
whatever.
included in unemployment. So when they're doing unemployment, they're going off of people applying for the unemployment.
Right.
That's the only way they can track it. But go ahead. What are you saying?
I think I lost my train of thought. So did the pandemic create self-sufficiency?
No.
Or efficiency? So for 2 years,
I think it did.
I was forced to stay at home, and then I made a decision to make my own way, and then I figured out how to make money, and now y'all trying to get me to come back and fill out an application?
I think it's a little of both. I think it made people lazy, right? Because you could stay at home and still get money. But then I think during that time, some people got very creative because you was working a 9 to 5 and you hustle and bustle of life, kids going to school and all of this. Now everything's slowed down. The kids are at home. You're at home. You don't have all of these demands, and all of a sudden your creative brain start thinking, right? Or maybe you like, okay, as soon as we open up, I can sell these recipes, these pies, or these cakes or hair products or whatever, right? So it did. I think some people came out of that better than they were because they were able to create something or go do something that they've always wanted to do and monetize that.
Some people, but I think that's a minority.
Yeah,
I think the majority of the people, because there's still a deficiency in what we need. You know what I'm saying? So we, like you said, now when we go sit down and we got an hour wait at the restaurant, it's not because it's necessarily full. It's because they only got 2 people working.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
So it's a combination of both.
But how are these people living? You saying they doing off the PPP money?
Yeah, I'm saying that people. Well, I feel like a lot of people are still. So the people that did what you just explained are good. They found the lane, and then they found where their deficiency is. For example, like so my wife's she just turned 40, and I was trying to find cakes for her, right? And I was trying
trouble, man. You tell no one
right. I thought about that when I said it, but I'm looking at all the cake places that we go to, right?
Right.
They closed.
Yeah.
But you know why? Because those people, like a lot of people from Instagram and Facebook, they created their own businesses, so they made them go out of business, right?
Right.
So that's different. We're talking about,
or they just. I know businesses that closed not because they didn't have customers; they didn't have enough help.
That too, yeah. Right. That's that too. But I want to say something real quick in regards to the foreclosure. So I can only go back to 2009, where the foreclosure rate was 2.1%.
Right.
In 2021, it's 0.11%.
Yeah. So stop,
and it hasn't been
stop
that low.
calling me saying I want to buy a foreclosure. It's a few out there,
I got
but
one.
it's no. You want a deal. You don't want a foreclosure. You want a deal. You want the probate. You want the people that's pre-foreclosure. People have turned down great investments just because it wasn't a bank foreclosure and the property still had tons of equity in it. Like, hey, you got this. Well, I don't really want to buy from nobody selling. I want to buy a foreclosure, something that's off market.
Yeah,
I'm like,
because they think it's the deal. That's just the mindset.
It's not a deal. The deal is in the numbers, not because it's a foreclosure or it's a
off market.
Off market.
When they hear off market, and like people that don't know how to invest, the newbie investors, automatically hear deal.
Yeah,
it ain't even got to be. You
deal.
can sell retail. You can sell off market stuff for retail.
Yeah,
and they're gonna buy it because they heard off market.
Yeah, like they getting a hookup.
But the foreclosures are here because my son, y'all, he's 13 years old. He just found us a deal.
Yeah,
off of Zillow.
Yeah, he about to tell Shocky he about to be a beast. He remind me of myself when I was that age, and he ain't even in the field. Yeah. But imagine when he started bringing them in the field.
He literally is going.
He's in the field now.
Bugging
no,
the
when I'm saying he not in the field, he's not. Shocker not forcing him to like be with him all day, every day working.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. So imagine if once he starts, come on, go with me, and he's But
when he got to ask, so I learned you got to let them like how he's doing it. I got to let them come and ask because I got a kid that I forced. That don't work. No.
Look, we about to. They ain't got stuff to do. So look, I got a question before we wrap this up. Are we still in a pandemic?
No. I don't feel like we've been in a pandemic.
It's a new pandemic. Every 3 or 4 months, something new come out.
I just asked because
you got monkeys, you got 19s, you got 17s, you got variants, you got all type of stuff. It's all a pandemic. The world one big pandemic.
All right, that's a wrap.